Hello, and welcome to Wyverns and Weirdos Fathomless, D&D Podcast set in the World of Fierlor. I'm your Dungeon Master, Darby, and joining me as always are Mitch playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Jake playing the Fishman, Joe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, Laura playing 𝗔𝗦𝗧, Zoe playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, and Eddie playing 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Let's jump into it. Is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 continuing to just float there, observing, and it's 𝗖𝗧𝗧. 𝗖𝗧𝗧, as a bonus action, is going to use its symbiotic entity again and get coated in fungus. So that's his last use of it for this encounter. I will say that, but yeah. And then for his action, he's got multi-attack to play with here. So he's going to start with one staff attack. So he's going to swing his staff towards you. And that's not great. That's only a 14 to hit on the first one. And then second swing, that's going to be 23 to hit.
Yeah, that might hit. How many attacks does this fella get? Cool.
So that is you have resistance to necrotic, don't you?
I don't.
You don't?
Should I?
I don't know off the
would
top of my head. Okay, you might not have it then. In that case, it is a grand total of 26 points of damage between necrotic and bludgeoning from the start.
I might have a reaction thing potentially, but okay. No, I don't. Never mind.
Okay. Yeah, no, it's just necrotic damage on the claw. This stage, not resistance. Okay, so
not that it super matters, but it is going to use a charge of the claw to be on 1 hit point instead of 0.
Okay, that does change.
Probably a bad idea, but it helps.
Yeah.
Helps not to be dead.
Yeah, and as you begin to falter, 𝗖𝗧𝗧 says, "Why do not just stay down? It is where you are of most use," and lifts his staff over his head and with a 25 just thwacks you over the head. And I don't know that I really need to roll the damage, but that is this time 31 points of bludgeoning and necrotic damage.
Down to 0 for real. So I went to say 𝗖𝗧𝗧 then. Not 𝗖𝗧𝗧. 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is down.
Okay. And then 𝗖𝗧𝗧 is going to make an attempt to go through the wind wall. Does he have? Nope. So it's just a standard roll. That is a natural 20 as he effortlessly floats through the wind wall. And you see in like that 6-second span of time, 𝗖𝗧𝗧 just whack down 𝗖𝗦𝗧, knocking him to the ground, and then just casually going through your wind wall.
Well, he still takes half of 15 points of damage, but Loren is like shaking, holding up this magic.
Okay, so what's the damage then?
Oh, fuck. 3d8, 15, bludgeoning.
So 15, so half to 7, so yep. All right. You see like some spores, mushrooms kind of get flung off as he passes through. All right. Next is Loomis, who is going to attempt a banishment, getting a bit closer to 𝗖𝗧𝗧 so that he is within range. And then over 𝗖𝗧𝗧𝗧, I believe, is going to use one of his legendary resistances to obviously resist it. And you can't really see or hear past the wind wall at this stage. You can vaguely make out like 2 figures slowly approaching each other. So, top of the next round, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
I think he was heading on a trajectory, going straight to 𝗖𝗧𝗧. He probably would keep doing that. Try to get a visual and make sure he actually is okay. He's taken the potion and everything. 15 forwards into the doorway. get a visual on Neris. How is Neris looking?
So, Neris, you can see that some of the cuts and bruises that were there, or not quite bruises, but like definitely cuts and scrapes, from when I think he was almost jostled from the helm with that thunderous attack, slowly, almost magically knitting themselves back together as the effect of that potion. You can tell his eyes are still partially open and his brow is furrowed. He's trying to figure out too many things that he can't figure out, and he looks scared, I think, more than hurt.
I guess Alton will continue going towards him, so he'll dash to get the final 15 feet to him. And so he'll take him and be like, all right, how are you feeling? Did that kick in?
Thank you. Also, thank you for not throwing the bottle at the wall.
I was worried that might happen, yeah. Look, all right. Let me give you a quick look over just to see that the lungs are all working properly as they should. And I guess I quickly Google this. I do not know enough about poisons at all. I don't know if this probably makes zero sense medically. Maybe Elton would get out, like, he's been working on, like, mechanical respirators.
Yeah.
Actually, he will give one to Nurse to kind of help with the breathing.
Yeah. So I think it would make sense for like a kind of fungal, a fungal infection kind of thing. Get the spores out of the lungs.
Yeah, excellent. So he'll give him that and just look over him anywhere else to see if he's got any other injuries. So that's using the healer's fee. That would be minimum damage healing. 16 points of healing.
Okay.
Sick. So he's kind of looking him over, thinking of like what to say, and then I guess he would probably, I don't know if he would be able to hear, would he have been able to hear Janice's distress? Probably not, there's a bit of distance there, yeah.
No, it's in the middle of a storm, unfortunately.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah, okay, then I guess I'll just be like, oh, are we moving this ship away? This seems like a tough battle, there's too much going on here.
Fortunately, I fear this fight may be lost, but we are spread too thin. We cannot leave while there are still others unaccounted for.
I'll try to pull people back on deck if I can, then.
I will assist Janice and Eldrin. I can sense Glut is in trouble on the Red Phoenix.
Right, let's do what we can to pull them through alive if possible. And Elton isn't able to move or do any other actions, but he will get Gunfieri to kind of just trundle around. Nexley is out of range, so it's just gonna kind of go and just like thonk into Glut's side a little bit. Just be like, come on, wake up.
All right. So next is Neris.
So I think following on from that conversation, Neris is trying to look at everything that's happening. He knows the objective is to stop this citadel from crumbling, stop that future from occurring. We have to stop 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. And then he thinks about everything that's happened in the past, everything that's going to happen in the future, every decision that he would make, and if there's somehow right or wrong in those decisions. And Neris finally snaps his eyes fully open, looks at Alton, and kind of registers that conversation that happened, and then blinks a couple of times, and I think instantly the cannon still trained on 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 tracking his move, lining up that shot. Neris almost mentally disconnects from that, looks up at this tempest that's attacking Janice and Eldrin, and is just going to point up a finger at the roof, pretty much through where this tempest is, and we're going to try and cast a Psychic Lance at 5th level at this creature.
Okay, so is that a saving throw?
It is an intelligence saving throw.
Oh, okay. It has, I believe, no chance at this. Yeah, no. That is a 6 total. Has a -4 to intelligence saves.
This creature is now incapacitated until the start of my next turn.
Okay. And how much damage does it take?
Oh, that's also something.
What does it look like being incapacitated too, Darby? A storm grinding to a halt?
Yeah, it's to you, Janice, it's almost akin to reaching the eye of the storm, as like everything is suddenly still, but you can see storm around you. But it's uncanny in its strange, in its stillness. It's unnatural.
That is... Sorry.
Almost like a roaring of a storm brought to life. So how much damage?
That is with a 5th level spell.
Yeah.
That is a crisp 19 psychic damage. Neris, is he able to use the headpieces that we have to message?
Yeah.
Assume Eldrin doesn't have one of these.
I don't believe you got him one.
Fair enough. And it will message Jana. There is an opening. If you wish to return to the spirited gull, now is the opportunity.
No, you continue.
I fear we may have lost.
There is no chance we'll succeed.
Not with that future.
Then I thank you.
And I think Neris is going to cut that connect, look at Alton, and there is a very tired, but I think very genuine smile that crosses his face.
All right. Next is Aldrin, who does not get his breath weapon back, annoyingly, but is going to do his usually. No, he sees that you are quite beaten, Dennis, and he is going to basically poke you with a claw, and magical energy drifts through from him to you as he casts a Cure Wounds at 3rd level.
Hey, watch where you... Oh!
Alright, so you regain... It's not a lot.
Look, anything's better than where
But,
he's at.
yeah.
He's at 2 current.
Okay, so it is 14 points, hit points you regain.
Thank you, sir.
And then next is the Fishman.
First off, can he please see what's going on over there at the city?
No, the wind wall is blocking it.
Wind walls block it. And that blocks vision?
I believe so.
Wind wall blocks vision.
Or at the very
There is
least,
a
he is on
distance,
he is on a crow's nest.
It doesn't block Fishman's vision. He's not in the 50-foot line.
Okay.
It was only the 50 feet where we're meeting.
But hey, if you want to add dramatic flair,
Yeah. I mean, it is quite a distance as well. So it would be hard to see any, to the wall in and of itself is 240 feet.
Fishman wearing his glasses, though. Would that help?
what happens if he squints real hard?
Yeah, what if he squints like really, really hard? Can he at least make out the shapes? Of
I feel
what-
like he makes his hand into the shape of binoculars.
I think-
Like he fine-tune his vision.
You can see the blurred image of two figures slowly approaching each other.
All right. He's going to use the earpiece and speak with everyone if he can, but primarily Naris, because I don't believe saying we're going to lose this fight was on the public channel.
Just to the captain.
Yeah. Do we intend to move this ship closer? It appears we might need to.
For rescues, potentially.
And you hear like sort of like crackling because again Janice is still at the center of the storm where he's like, if you need to rescue the others, get to them now.
All
Naris.
right.
Neris couldn't have moved the ship closer by any chance, could he? Was it far too late for that?
It is too late for that. It is no longer your turn.
All right. Well, in that case, Fishman is going to try and get a little bit closer if he can. So he will bonus action tap his boots, and he will move 80 feet to the very tippy front. He's going to even climb on the mast where the figurehead is to get that extra little bit of distance.
All right.
Now, let's see how close we are now. Because that is the step I did not prepare. Approximately 108. That's still too much. Damn. All right. Even that's my furthest spell. I still can't do that. Damn. Man, long distance sucks. All right. Well, in that case, I know our friend is incapacitated. What Fishman will do, actually, is he will hold a spell if he can.
Okay.
So he intends to just decide which one he wants to do. he would have seen Exley go through the wall, and and you said he can see two figures. He might not be able to tell who's who, but he's aiming to perhaps cast a spell through when he gets close enough, if the ship moves.
Okay. Yeah,
So he's hoping to target Exley with. We'll go with. Do I have to say?
Yes.
All right. We'll try and play it a little bit safe, and we'll go with silence. But when we get close enough, and there's a 120 feet range spell, and currently I am 108.
All right. So next is Janice.
All right. So even though Eldrin has instilled within him some energy to sort of continue fighting, because he was almost at the end of his tether there, Janice would take a deep breath if he could, but the wind is still so... He would take a deep breath if he could, but it's almost so... Even though there's this lull in this giant creature, this force of nature, he feels like he can't. And so instead he just looks from the creature, where with his old job he would be assigned to repel this invader and destroy it until the ship was safe. But now his new job, the job he's been coveting all his life, and is now starting to wonder whether he's wanted it in these circumstances at all. He turns back and looks at the gull, and he is going to... Hang on, how far am I from the gull? Just double checking, what is our distance that we can move?
So it is 3 times your intelligence score.
Oh, yeah.
And that's because you do have your own innate fly speed. You are able to fly based on that as well.
Okay.
So for you, it's whichever of the two is higher.
Well, it's definitely flying. So what he's going to do is... Hang on. So he's going to... Actually, I believe he can just get to the ship from here anyway. So he's going to momentarily turn to, again, this what feels like the pit of this storm, this tempest, and go, You are far greater than any storm I've traversed before, but you will die all the same. You will be conquered all the same. And bam, with the Wave Rider Glaive. One go, not going to do Reckless though. So that's, hang on. So it's 24 to hit for the first one. Yuck. That's an 8 slashing damage. And then he'll attack again. And that's a 19 to hit.
That just hits. That is its AC. Okay, exactly.
Cool. And that is a little bit better. That's 14 points of slashing damage.
Yep.
And of course the thunder just booms around uselessly. Yep. And then he is going to fly with kind of use that strange momentum of there being no swirling storm around him, and that clear certain point that he can get to back to the gull.
Wait, that's something. Is it technically incapacitated, so it just can't take action but reactions? Okay.
Yeah. So there's that certain that split second where he can escape freely without being maimed, and he sort of just lands on the ship almost in this low crouch, and then quite near where Fishman is, and then just nods at him. He's like, "Where are the others? Let's go." And that's the end of his turn.
All right. Speaking of the others, Loren, it is your go.
Okay. Loren is holding up this magic wall and watching Exley just pass through it after downing Glut. She is just breathing heavily. She is panicking. She is 100 feet from the nearest friend. Exley is walking towards a god, and she knows that this ship, her old home, is full of monsters, as we saw them getting on. We failed to stop that, and now we're failing again. So she makes a fuck around and find out decision, where there is a moment where she thinks, I could attack Exley, and maybe I can end this here. And she feels the magic in her hands, the last of her magic fizzling. And then she thinks, I know this ship like the back of my hand. It's my ship. Now, I would like to steal the Red Phoenix.
Okay.
You said the wheel was still there. Is it functioning?
You would have to approach it to see.
I do. Yeah, I go towards the wheel, and I attempt to steer away.
Okay. You feel there is some movement to the wheel. but there's a resistance that you've never felt. Unnatural, almost as if there is some sort of magical force pulling it. If you had to guess, spell jamming helm hidden within the bows of the ship.
Would I be able to guess about where that would be?
You could make an intelligence saving intelligence check. You can also try to struggle against it. So it would be, if you are going to try to, you can still try to steer the ship manually from here.
Mm-hmm.
Just if you are doing so, you are doing so in competition with 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 at the spell jamming helm.
She's fucking. Well, that confirms my Zoe's theory that the helm is in 𝗖𝗔𝗧𝗧's office. I'm gonna use lucky. I'm contesting my captain.
Okay, so you're
fuck.
doing this. You're doing this the old-fashioned way.
Yeah, I'm brute forcing
So
it.
you need to roll me a strength check. I will allow it with athletics if you've got it. 𝗖𝗔𝗧𝗧, on the other hand, is using her spell bonus, so her charisma plus her proficiency bonus. So she's got a +7.
I only have +0.
Okay.
Can you roll first? Just because whatever I get on the dice is gonna be it.
Okay. I have the result. I have the DC.
Okay.
I am taking a photo of it to send to the chat. The moment. Yeah.
Can I use lucky and inspiration?
Yeah.
I'm rolling 3 dice. I want this to work.
Okay.
Okay, Loren drops this wind wall and runs towards the wheel. She feels this resistance and she's stressed, like tears are starting to come out of her eyes, and the ones coming out of her blackened siren eye are ichor black. And she looks at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and she says, "You can't win without your army, you piece of shit." That's a 15, a 7, and a natural 20.
Okay. For a high total of 20.
Natural 20.
The DC was 25 as I rolled an 8. As you feel an almost condescending echo through your head as you try to pull against this manual helm.
Is it my captain's or is it her god's? That decides what happens with her bonus action.
You know what? It's both. You hear 2 laughs in stereo.
I misty step into the helm.
Hey, all right.
Well, I misty step into 𝗖𝗔𝗧𝗧's office. I'm assuming it's the helm. Sorry, gang.
We'll see where you get where that takes us in the next round. So it is the Astral Tempest's go. It is still incapacitated. Now, is that till the end of your turn, Neris, or the end of its?
To the start of my next turn.
Start of your next turn. Okay. Lovely. Next is 𝗖𝗪𝗪. 𝗖𝗪𝗪, could you please roll me a death saving throw?
𝗖𝗪𝗪 has advantage on death saving throws for certain specific reasons. It still failed its first one.
Oh, okay.
So that's the end of its turn. Actually, question. There is 1 charge left on the Mistforged Claw. Can I use that last charge to put 𝗖𝗪𝗪 on 1 hit point?
It has to be when you are reduced to 0 hit points.
Okay, that's fine. That's fair. In that case, 1 failure, please, DM.
Okay.
1 death save failure, please.
Okay.
Pronto. Thank you.
All right. Next is the 𝗖𝗔𝗪𝗧, which, again, just gonna float there almost pointlessly. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, who is gonna do a bit of, like, you can see him approaching slowly. Loomis, those of you who can make, or I guess it's just Fishman, really, who has the vision and is looking in the right direction to barely make out through the wind wall.
Did you say that the wind wall dropped, Zoe?
I did. It's concentration.
The wind wall has dropped, apparently.
Okay, so you can see it a bit clearer. It's still far away, so you can't hear anything. You can just see basically 2 small figures off at the front of the citadel. All right, and 𝗖𝗪𝗪𝗧 does something. You're not going to. You can't tell from the distance you're at. Right. Next is Loomis. So Loomis is going to. He's going to use a he's going to use a Moonbolt against 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 for 19 points of radiant damage, burning off some of the fungus protecting him. That is so. Back at the top of the round with Alton. All right, so Alton at the top of a new round.
Right. So yeah, he kind of takes in everything that's happening, all the things that Neris is implying, and this Neris tries to gives out on a tired smile. It just fills with more doubts and concerns. In this battle that Neris's little faith that they're going to win. In situations like this before, Alton's always just focused on preserving himself. He's just always thought fleeing was the smartest thing to do, but that isn't even an option right now where he is. So he's going to pull together all of his just recklessness and determination and just perfectionism, and he's going to see what he can do to help everyone, try to keep everyone alive, see what they can do to get everyone out of this. So he's going to keep his hands on his pistols, keeping an eye on the creature above. He's also going to quickly run it, have a look over everyone else who's on board. I'm assuming Fishman is still invisible? No, he's visible?
No, he's now visible on the very edge of the ship. Literally hanging,
Fantastic.
I don't know what the proper word is, but straddled on top of the front mast, I'm assuming is what it's called.
Excellent. And now Fishman, would I have to do a medicine or a perception check or something, or I just want to quickly assess everyone's wounds?
Okay. So it would be it would be a medicine check. It's going to be really hard to get anything nuanced or detailed, but you can have a look over those you can see, just kind of scanning over the ship.
So that's a 23. I mean, I think I would imagine he would notice pretty quickly that Janice is in a bad state.
Everyone you can see is in a pretty bad state, except for the Fishman, who's not too bad.
Little charred.
Yeah.
He would gives this kind of a pleased but brisk nod at Fishman, seeing him in a good state, and then he will turn to Janice, as Neris has already received some healing, and so he's going to start looking over him. Well, I guess first he'll be Captain, you're not looking in a good state. Let me help.
How is everyone else? What's the situation? Report.
Pretty shit, but Neris's injuries are recovering. Fishman is doing well. Gullet and Loren are over on the other ships. I can't really help them.
They'll never ship. Okay, well, we shall make haste then. I will be fine if your efforts are required elsewhere.
No, you're in the worst state currently.
He just kind of uselessly just with his hands. He is completely battered and bruised. I feel quite singed as well from being in the midst of this strange astral storm. A lot of his hair looks quite singed. He's quite cut off as well. He just kind of tries I've had worse.
And we'll start getting out bandages and supplies.
You won't shove him away.
Yes, he'll start bandaging up any wounds, maybe give him some hydrating fluids to drink or something. And so
he just kind of temporarily makes a face up towards Fishman as this all happens.
Excellent. So 15, 16, 17, 18, that's 19 points of healing.
Ooh, thank you.
All right, so next is Neris.
So as it gets round to Neris's turn, the cacophonous storm almost immediately resumes again. And I think Neris did something last round that he wasn't expecting, and that has kind of thrown him a little bit.
Is this the psychic glance or the admitting defeat?
Admitting to a different future. I don't think he was admitting defeat, because he...
Short-term defeat.
Not even that.
Huh?
I think in a brief glimpse into Neris's mind, the only mission that he had going into this was stopping 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. However, there was the briefest glimpse at a new mission, which is ensuring the continuation of the Spirited Gull and its captain and its crew. And that was a new idea for Neris, I think. And that's given him that and a renewed sense of drive and vigor, but for a different conclusion, if you will. So I think Neris now focused on this new objective, this new future, this new possibility for success, I think, is initially going to get on the little magical CB radio that we have and just quickly shoot a message out to 𝗔𝗦𝗧. The spirited gull is moving. Return if you can, or hold your breath.
Do you do anything else on your turn?
There are some. I was just wondering if there was a reply. But if there is not...
but it is perfectly matched with what he is going to do on his turn. So I will hold it back until his turn because it is right after yours.
Sure, we're going to Psychic Lance the Tempest again.
Okay.
And then I'm going to... I can't hold movement, can I?
No, not for the ship.
Then we're going to move the ship 35 feet forward towards the Red Phoenix.
Okay. So it's an intelligence save.
It is indeed.
That's a 15.
That fails.
All right. So how much damage?
That is, again, my apologies, at 5th level because I don't have any 4th level spell slots left.
Okay.
So the Tempest is once again incapacitated.
Yeah.
Cannot take actions or reactions as the spirited gull moves away from it.
You know what? I think it's going to use a legendary resistance to save against that because...
upsetting.
But I believe it's still half damage, is it not?
It will be, yes.
Yes. All right. So what is that half damage?
The half damage will be 14.
14. Not too bad for half damage.
Psychic damage.
Yeah.
We got to move. So
Yeah.
Neris is going to... Yeah, we're going to move that 35 feet.
So 𝗔𝗦𝗧's response to you is, "Oh, on the contrary, I think this is the perfect time to release my breath." As I pre-rolled a 6 for him to get his breath weapon back, and he just unleashes a plume of fire throughout the astral tempest as he flies through the flames that are erupting through the tempest's form, as it takes 77 points of fire damage, combusting it into basically a charred husk, and then flies out and onto the deck of the spirited gull.
Dennis turns to 𝗔𝗦𝗧 and is like, "We haven't talked to him about the fact he's dragging yet, have we? Like, that's still a thing that hasn't been covered yet, because that's great shogness."
Yeah, it's just so much happening all the time.
There's a lot of things happening, like, all the time. It's quite strange with it. We make a great story, though.
And that is his go, which brings us to the fishman's go.
Judging from my maths, we're still not close enough, unfortunately, for that to fire, that silent spell to fire off, because the sneaky guy moved forwards a little bit.
Yeah.
So that is null and void. Because we only moved 35 feet, yeah?
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Plan B. Let's see how far we are from our dying comrade. We're about 90, it looks like. Moving through space sucks for fishmen. That requires an action to do... What's the wording here? To stabilize someone. That's an action as well, yes?
It is an action, yeah.
All right. Misty Step gives me 30. I can't get onto this goddamn ship. Oh, God. All right. So if he goes 30, sorry, I should have done this beforehand. I thought we'd be closer. And then he can move. He can basically just get on the tip.
Yeah.
The ship. And if he floats, that's his movement. Yes.
Yes. So that's your bonus action and your movement.
Yes, that was the intention. Yeah. And his boots wouldn't do anything here.
His boots would double his movement.
Ooh.
So 25 is the extent
40.
of your fly speed under normal circumstances. So
7, if we want to be exact, and which I want to be because I need it.
But well, what I was going to say is once you're on the deck of the ship, you're able to move at your walking speed again, which you can effectively walk a full run of your walking speed towards 𝗔𝗦𝗧.
All right. If we can, would that still provide me with an action to stabilize?
It would.
Excellent. I would very much like to do that.
All right.
As best I can.
Yeah. Roll me a medicine check.
He's usually pretty good at these. He's pretty good at this. 22.
Yeah. 𝗔𝗦𝗧 is stabilized.
Awesome. That's really all he can do, unfortunately. I guess he'll just look helplessly at Bexley, and also maybe look around for Loren.
Okay. Yeah, you don't see Loren anywhere. Next is Janice.
Alright, so yeah, he's still quite a distance to get to the other ship. And I'm a close combat fighter. So he sort of like shrugs Alton off as Alton sort of tends to all of his wounds. I'm stuck again. I guess Janice just strides towards the prow of the ship. Sorry, I can't do anything, so it's just annoying. I'm just gonna double check to see if there's anything useful I can do. So yes, as the ship sort of manages to cut its way through space, basically, I guess, Janice sort of like just basically prods Alton away as he's heading to him and straightens up to his full height, and he will just sort of run towards the furthest point of the ship. Prow, I think. I can't quite remember. Like the furthest most point of the ship, and he will just wait there poised as it continues to fly along. But yeah, that's pretty much all Janice can do, unfortunately, on this turn. He's not in range to do anything else. He will just sort of take a defensive stance, but he's very intensely watching the point of the Red Phoenix now that he's been told that there are others there that he cannot keep track of. That's all he does.
All right. Next is Loren. So yes, Loren, you find yourself in Cerese's office where you teleported yourself, and you see two things of note. You see the black and red crystal inlaid in the chair behind Cerese's desk, pulsing with magic, and Cerese is sitting, eyes closed, in her chair. You also see a figure beside her. Roll me a history or religion check, your choice, to see if you can recognize this figure at all.
If it's who I think it is, do I get advantage because we were recently researching him?
We'll see. I don't think so.
It's okay. I'm really good at religion. 17.
Yeah, this seems consistent with depictions of the Vein Shade that you came across in your reading. You don't necessarily recognize him per se, but between having read about him and knowing of Cerese's connection to him, it's not a long, and 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's connection to him, it's not a long jump. It's not a big leap of logic. No, I've always hated when people didn't know their place.
Funny, you don't seem to know yours.
Oh, sweet summer child. What would you do in the face of a god?
This, probably. And she spits at him.
Yeah, you rotten peasant.
What? She didn't warn you about me. Didn't give you any primers, any briefings. Sorry. I'm the rat bastard you have to get through. Either I leave here with this ship, or you leave with no army. You can take her and leave. I'll let you walk out. But I don't think you're actually powerful enough to put up a fight here.
Oh, you're going to wish you didn't say that. And you know what? You were useful at times in your service to Cerese. So I'm going to be merciful. I'm just going to let you leave, and you feel a magical pulse within your body. Roll me a charisma saving.
Ugh. Oh, okay. 13.
13.
It's not bad.
If anyone were around, they would hear a faint sound as Loren, pretty much as soon as she appeared in the room, disappears. And Loren, you find yourself in a harmless demiplane.
I've been banished?
As you have been banished.
This is on my turn, right?
Yeah.
Can I do anything before he bamps me?
I was giving you ample opportunity. Like, if you want to do something in the moment, I'll allow it, but...
I'm gonna do something real stupid.
Okay.
As if any of this hasn't been stupid. I carry a dagger. As I feel this magic ripple over me, I throw my dagger at Conrad's heart.
Okay, roll to hit. As you disappear, the last thing you see as you're throwing this dagger, as Conrad is producing the verbal, somatic, and material components of the spell, is the dagger just scoring over the top of his finger that points at you as he banishes you. roll damage.
I rolled max damage, so that is 10 points of piercing.
And that's a non-magical dagger?
No, yeah.
Yeah, so for a grand total of 5 points of damage against this god.
We fucked around, and I'll tell you what, I've only barely begun to find out.
Does he look shaky?
Yeah.
Not at all.
Insta-kill. That's it. We've finished the campaign, you all. We've saved the universe.
All right. Next is Galut.
Galut's unconscious.
Yes.
Yeah, only a stable.
Galut
Yes.
lays unconscious on the deck of this goddamn stupid fucking ship.
Okay.
The core thing wouldn't kick in, or does it specifically have to be when you get dropped down to zero?
Drop down to zero.
Up to zero.
The Zadar continues to float around, and Exley is going to close the distance on Loomis. And Fishman, you would be close enough to see this now that you're on the ship. You see as Exley produces a scroll on charred, dark black parchment, written seemingly in blood. If the red ink, the red flecks on it are to be intuited from. And as that scroll flares up, you see things begin to appear and darken around Loomis's neck. It is actually Loomis's go.
Darby, just out of curiosity.
Yes.
Neris's extended vision from being one with the helm, would he be able to see that as well?
He would not. It's still a bit too far out. At least as far as detailed vision is concerned. So, what can Loomis do? Loomis is... Yeah.
What are things that are healthy? Like drinking, can he drink some herbal tea? Like good, I hear it's good for the throat.
Do a bit of yoga quickly.
Yeah.
Or eat like 20 cheese wheels or something.
Specifically 20.
Yeah, any more or any less, you die instantly. That's like a real life fact. You gotta be really careful
I'm
with
not
cheese
surprised. If you eat any more than 20 cheese wheels, yeah. I see that as being instant death.
I mean, it's possible. I mean, it depends on the size of the cheese wheel. The little mini ones, great.
Yeah. Oh, I could talk about this all day. I loved those things.
Yeah, Luke hasn't got many options. He's not built for one-on-one combat like this. So he's just gonna which is the better? He's gonna whack with his lunar star. And that is a 21, which just hits for 29 points of damage to Exley. Alright. We're back to the top of the initiative order. Alton.
I never prepared somehow.
So just really quickly, sorry, before we do that, Dubby, could you like summarize this little scene? Because you're like, they're NPCs, so like,
Yeah.
you're calculating the math stuff for that.
Yeah.
But considering, I figure this is going to be quite dramatic.
Yeah.
What does it look like when Exley like attacks? I guess like Exley's attack and the reaction from the old boy.
Yeah. All right. So
Please,
I'll move.
please and thank you.
Yeah, I'll move the map back. So as the veins from Exley's spell crawl up Loomis's neck, you get the impression that it's probably crawling throughout the entire body. It's just not visible due to the robes. Loomis takes a hit at Exley with the lunar staff, hitting him, doing a good amount of damage, but it's not enough at this stage to break through the fungal shield of Exley's Exley's symbiotic entity. Yes, so next is Alton.
So looking around the ship, everyone seems to be healed as much as they can. The people that are on there. He's still concerned about Galut and Loren, who he can't even see anymore. The ship does seem to be making its way there, but he looks at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 and is watching this dragon form in just amazement, and has a very stupid idea, and he's gonna call it, "Hey 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, don't know if this is like insensitive or anything, but could you like carry me or some of us over to the other ship? Like, fly us over?
Should be able to manage that.
Fantastic then. Right, how are we going to do this?
All right.
Is Eldrin still flying or is he on the ground?
He's on the ground at the moment.
Eldrin just kind of looked like, do I just clamber?
It might take a moment, so hop on and take a deep breath.
Oh boy, good point. All right, here goes. And he will clamber onto Eldrin's back and get ready for, I guess that doesn't count as an action, so I guess if...
that would be movement.
Yeah, that's just movement. Yeah. So I'll hold an action for once we get within actually, I don't know if that's going to happen anytime soon, but if we get within 120 feet of Exley, he's going to shoot Exley.
Okay.
Yeah, and then also bonus action, Gun Fury is going to move, trundle along another 15 feet towards Exley.
Okay.
There we go. Let's move on.
Okay. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
My apologies. Okay. So, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 was trying to focus on delaying the tempest and also moving the ship forward, and I think he's turned around again to try and delay this tempest and just sees it virtually explode with a giant dragon in the middle, just like, haha. And 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 just kind of cocks his head and goes, okay. And is going to move the ship closer again.
All right.
As far as we can take it. How far away are we from Exley now?
So you've traveled about 70 feet. Let's try to work this out. So 70 feet, and then from there, so the front of the ship is about 175 feet from Exley.
Right. Okay. Are we close enough that 𝗖𝗔𝗧 can make out which one of these figures is Exley? We don't need to know what they're doing.
Yeah, you can tell which is Exley and which is Loomis.
I would like to attempt to rotate that bottom cannon back onto Exley.
Okay.
And take a shot.
Yeah. Roll to hit.
That's not a great roll. I think 𝗖𝗔𝗧 is going to see a couple of little futures here and notice that he's probably going to, with everything that's happening, he can't quite see there is a chance of missing. So 𝗖𝗔𝗧 is going to take a little bit of time, focus on those few futures where this cannon has a higher chance of hitting. And we're going to use the last charge on his divine orb to re-roll that. And that's natural 20.
So that is 40 plus D4.
Yes. Yeah. So just a single D4.
No, 40 plus 10, 4D10.
Oh, that's what we're at. Yeah, okay, cool.
Yes.
So 40-10. It's a good roll. That is 73.
73.
2 10s and a 9.
Right. Okay. So it blasts off the remainder of the symbiotic entity and still manages to do a good chunk of damage to Exley. So that is your turn, I take it?
Yes. There's not by any chance a concentration check or anything that needs to be made on it.
No, there isn't.
Yeah, that's
All right.
it. Yeah,
So-
we just move closer.
Yeah. Next is 𝗔𝗦𝗧. So 𝗔𝗦𝗧 is going to, from where he is, going to fly 180 feet. He is going to dash towards. I was going to say, do you want to go to the ship or do you want to push through to Exley, Alton?
Well, let's fly over the ship to see if Glut's up.
All right. So 180 plus the 70 that the ship has traveled would easily get you to Glut. Janice, if you want, he's going to make sure that his directory goes over you so that if you would like to use a reaction, you can...
I would love to use a reaction to jump up onto him as he flies by, please.
Yeah.
Please and thank you.
So as he is flying overhead, he sweeps over you and lets his tail down, and you just run up the spine and meet Alton up at the top of the back as they fly to the top of the Red Phoenix. Right.
Oh, hello. Damn, it's just like you're taking the stairs.
So that is 𝗔𝗦𝗧's go.
All in a day's work, young Alton. No, hang on. All the day's work up.
All right. So next.
No, I might even believe that one. Oh, I think I am within 120 feet now.
Yes, I believe so.
And so he'll say that, and then he'll cock his pistols and start taking some shots at Exley.
All right. So held the attack action, so you get 2 shots in.
Yeah, that's all right. Not too good. First one is an 18 to hit.
18 misses.
I thought so. All right, come on. Okay, and then that's just another 18. Okay, this is fine. He tries to look badass, but both shots just go wide.
Yeah, you see it as
fucked. Yeah.
just the trying to adjust to kind of the different atmospheres here that you're going through. It's very difficult to get used to and aim your shot through. All right, next is the Fishman.
Oh boy. It's probably a bad decision, and I have a feeling I know what the result will be, but I did peek through my inventory, and I did in fact have a potion of heal. To feed someone a potion is an action, correct?
Yes.
Action. Yeah, let's do that. We'll feed Galoot a potion to get them back up to however much. It's not a good potion though, which is why Fishman is a little concerned, especially given the state of things. But if we are to leave, this would probably be provide the best opportunity. So he has a potion of healing, which is 2d4 plus 2.
It'll get him up.
Yep, get them up. You can roll. I'm lazy. And
6 points, by the way. Just
he
FYI.
is going to use Hunter's Mark on Exley as a bonus action. And also, he's going to move a little bit closer as well. So let me just draw a line. He wants to get into a spot where he can easily get back onto the boat if need be. Or actually, before he does that, he sees that we've just had a whole bunch of people board the ship. He'd like to turn around and ask them, so what is the plan? Do we proceed or retreat?
We cannot let Exley kill this god. If he succeeds, if that is even possible, we must do what we can. But we must also be realistic. If there is nothing that can be done, we also need to be ready to flee. The gull is on its way.
Well, let's just go the full distance. And yeah, he'll move 80 feet towards Exley with determination in his eyes.
Next is Janice.
Alright. Fishman would probably see a blur run past him as Janice will now charge forward towards the closest point of combat. Hang on. Just gonna see. So just really quickly checking, I will edit this out. How much are the squares each again? It's like
5
2
feet.
squares are like okay, cool. Okay, so Janice will just dash towards the conflict between Exley and Loomis. Were there also other creatures attacking, or not at the moment? Okay.
Not at the moment.
Alright, so yeah, Fishman will see a blur rush up to meet him as Janice will also run towards the current conflict that's going on. His glaive raised and ready, and he will bonus action fly into a rage again.
Okay.
Lightning and thunder bounces around this strange atmosphere of this moon.
All right.
He hits the ground running.
Lovely. So next is Loren. So you're in this demi-plane. It is incredibly gloomy. There is an almost like sand underneath your feet, and it is the sky is black, and a fog drifts throughout the atmosphere and hangs low on the ground.
If you can hear me, Vainche, your interior decoration is shite. As she kind of stands there in this dust, in this darkness, as this weight in her head, in her heart, in her shoulders just takes over, she kind of falls to one knee in this dust and just slams her hand into the ground, her nails digging into the dirt, this dusty, dark dirt. You're a fool, Heart Willow. Shouldn't have done that. Now all you can do is get back. Come on then, kid. Get back. And I guess I'm gonna try and break banishment if I can. Is there a save?
There is not.
She pushes and pushes against this magical energy and feels nothing. There is no way out. And she just screams, just this vibration that starts in her heart and leaves through her throat. She cannot control it. She is crying. There is ichor on her face, and she just screams. Oh, that's my turn.
Yeah. Next is 𝗖𝗏𝗧.
I was worried you'd say that. Also, I just realised I've been off mute for God knows how long. Thank God I haven't been making any noises. Okay. 𝗖𝗏𝗧's really limited in what it can really do here, but I think it pushes itself up from where it had collapsed. Looking around, it can't see Loren, and things have shifted. All of its allies have moved, and it looks across to where 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is and where Loomis is. And can it see what's happened? Can it see that something's wrong with Loomis?
You can see that there is something wrong with Loomis, yes. You can't tell what exactly. You can tell that there is something wrong.
It lets out this wounded, awful sound, and it's going to just sprint towards 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, this feral sort of rage within it. It was just double checking my movements. That's all it can do. It's just sprinting towards this horrifying scene in front of it.
Right. Next is the 𝗖𝗏𝗧, which continues just to float around. But this time it actually floats a little towards the action. And I think with where the ship is, it's just on the edge of the citadel. All right. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, who is going to... So, for one thing, being 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's turn, those of you who can see what's happening on the citadel, see Loomis, the veins on his neck begin to spread up to his face and stretch out a kind of dark gray-green, almost like a dark, twisted, mold-ridden stone in appearance. You see he is going to turn around and use a fungal spore attack on each of the three that are reasonably close to him. So first on Janice, so that is 22 to hit.
That hits.
Then on Fishman, that is a 15 to hit.
That does not.
And then on 𝗖𝗏𝗧, that is a 21 to hit.
It's
Okay, so
Fishman couldn't get in the way of that at all. Full well knowing what state 𝗖𝗏𝗧 is in.
So, Fishman, you take 1 point of poison damage.
Was that for Janice? Sorry.
Oh,
Fishman
sorry,
saved.
Janice, you take 21 points of poison damage.
Okay.
𝗖𝗏𝗧, you take 15 halved to 7. Actually, in that moment, Loomis is going to use his last kind of reserve of energy.
It doesn't have to, because as someone
Oh, yes! You
so
have that
helpfully
one
just messaged
charge.
me, there's that one last charge, so it
Alright.
you would see it, thank you so much, Mitch, you would see it stagger and go to fall weakly, but the sheer will of it just needing to reach this awful scene in front of it, it comes back with that one hit point.
And as you do, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, recognizing that in you, says, I have fulfilled my purpose now to tie up one last loose end, as he steps forward just 5 feet for now and stares intently at you. But that is his turn. Loomis, there is not much that he can do other than he's going to bolster. So basically all of you except for Loren will have advantage. So you can't be charmed or frightened and have advantage on ability checks and saving throws until the end of Loomis's next turn.
You mean Loomis's last turn?
Oof. All right. Next is Alton.
Yes. Okay. I think. Shit. There it goes. All right, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, could you take me a little bit further then? We might have to get closer in on the action if going to help the others.
Well-
So, and he'll go on to like the comms and be like, Loran, where are you? Are you alive?
Can I hear that?
You hear nothing.
No, fuck. Right. And then Alton will continue to shoot at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. So I'm going to try to aim some more shots at him. First one is a 21 to hit.
One will just hit.
Oof, fantastic. Alrighty, so that is 11 points of piercing damage.
Okay.
For my next shot, I'm going to try to do a winging shot. So he's going to try to like focus on the aim, try to aim for the legs. And if I hit, 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧's going to have to roll a strength save. Come on, please, 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 please. Fuck. Alton cannot shoot today. Yeah, he's still like trying to compensate from the gravity and everything. And by trying to aim for the legs, he accidentally just shoots the ground instead. Alright, so gun fury, but I'll try a bonus action shot as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a 31 to hit.
31 certainly hits.
Got the shot that can't do much damage. Alright, give me 10. No, that's a 1 point of piercing damage.
1 point of piercing damage. Okay.
And gun fury just kind of like teeters back and forth on the spot
Okay.
and blows a puff of smoke, looking at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
All right. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
We move the ship closer.
Okay. All right. That's all. Next.
How far away are we now?
So you've traveled an extra 35. Okay.
Forgot where we were last time. I'm so sorry.
95 total. So you are at.
Let's just make a rat to represent the ship's progress.
So you're about. So the end of the ship, the frontmost point of the ship is about 145 feet away from 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. It is also only 5 feet away from the Red Phoenix.
We slammed the brakes on.
Yeah.
Oops. I think we're just going to have to shoot at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 again. We're going to hope that we're just high enough that we're going to crest over the top of all of our wonderful allies and hit this mega mushroom robot in the face.
Okay. Roll to hit.
That is... I have nothing that I can do. That's not good. That's the 13.
Yeah, that miss. Also, I realize I miscalculated. You're a little bit closer than I said you were, but not by much.
Not 120 feet though.
No,
okay. Then yeah, that's what he
I
does.
I was only off by 10. All right. So next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, who's going to fly with Alton on his back. He's going to say, "Where would you like me to position, Alton?"
Just drop me by Galut.
All right.
Nothing.
He can't do much this turn, but he does, get you into position by Galut. Okay. Next is the Fishman.
Okay, so something different this turn. So Fishman is going to continue bolting towards 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, essentially getting within 15 feet. To Janice, who's right next to him, I guess all the people down there, they would see Fishman's sprint starts turning into a much more fluid kind of stride, as if he begins sliding on the ground as the ice begins to moisten and freeze around him. And as he gets closer and closer to 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, you see the swirl that is usually around his armor pick up, gust of storm, and as he gets within that 15 feet, he'll outstretch an arm, and all of that gust, all of that snow and ice that he just built up is shot towards 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 as he casts Investiture of Ice. So essentially it's a lot of ice and snow shrapnel being hurled at him. So he needs to make a Constitution 17 saving throw.
I believe Constitution is, one of his good ones.
Yeah, I was worried about that. But
so that is a 23.
3. Well, that does save. It was only a 17. However, that is 16 cold damage.
Yeah.
Let me just double check. On a failed save, they take that much. Half as much on a successful save. And they would have been slowed also, but they won't be.
Okay.
I'm just going to quickly check. I doubt Hunter's Mark would do anything.
Hunter's Mark is usually an attack.
Yes. Yeah, I believe so. Hit with a weapon attack. Yeah. No, that's all right. And I don't believe there's much else he can do with his bonus action this turn. Yeah, that'll have to be it.
All right. Next is Janice.
All right. He takes like a couple of seconds to be like, damn. As Fishman just explodes ice everywhere. He almost he instinctively crouches slightly to sort of avoid and throws up a wing to avoid being hit himself. And then he's going to nod almost to himself. He's going to go, we can end this all here right now. Let's go. And then he steals himself and he's going to run in and swing at 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧. Like full close combat, glaive down. Even though 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 is himself quite large. Oh man. Interesting. Yeah, so that first attack is just a 16 to hit.
Yeah, that misses, unfortunately.
So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 just moves out of the way. Was with like this. Like, how does 𝗖𝗔𝗧, I guess, dodge that, I suppose?
So 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 would basically, one of the sinews of wood that makes up his arm would kind of flick out as it is rotten in appearance and flick away, carrying your glaive.
Woo. Impressed. Wham! Again. We try again. Oh my gosh! Nope. The dice are telling a story. That's a 13 to hit.
Yeah, so 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧 raises his staff this time to meet your glaive. He says, "You are not worthy to fell me."
Well, yet you shall be felled.
Next is Lorraine. You are still within this gloomy demi-plane.
Okay. She finishes screaming, throat raw. Not because she cannot scream anymore, but because she knows to continue screaming is to unleash something that will not stop. So she stops, she breathes, she claws at the dirt. And she is desperate, and she is stuck in a shadow plane, and she only has so much magic left. But she is going to try and cast Ascending to Janice. I believe from a different plane, there's a 5% chance it won't work.
Yes.
Do I roll a D100 for this?
I will roll the D100.
It's basically on a 1 to 5.
On a 1 to 5, it fails. Right. That is a 75. So it goes.
So she just reaches into this black cloud, this storm bubbling in this banished plane, and tries to send something to Janice, her brother of the storm. And through his rage and through the astral sea and through the fiery remains of this tempest, her lightning will climb up his spine and into his skull, and he will hear, "Ex-captain at the helm, Conrad by her side, I have been banished, a land of shadow. Finish this. I'll be back, brother of the storm. Janice." And that's all he hears.
Alright, and I can reply to this. So the Wren just hears, and again it's probably quite muffled because of the different plane, this the space interference, this everything that's going on. And she just hears, "The Wren, sister of the storm, where are you? How do we get you back? Never mind, I will finish this. Make sure you return to us."
And she takes that in, and she, for the first time in a very long time, gives up. And she lies in the dirt and she waits to return.
Okay. Next is 𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧.
𝗖𝗔𝗦𝗧, it looks weak and it looks tired, but it is almost compulsed to finish this. And it moves towards 𝗖𝗔𝗧, and I believe that with its movement, it just gets within its extended reach.
Yeah.
And it looks at, in a way, its creator, in a way, its destroyer. And with all that it has left at this point, in almost resignation, it looks into its eyes and it thrusts its claw forward. That is a 28 to hit.
That certainly hits.
We're going to put a second level Divine Smite on that one.
All right.
So 8, 15, 20, 22. That last one doesn't count because I don't have Spirit Shroud up. 24. Lost my D6. Hold on. I might still have it. 26, 28, 38 points of damage on the first attack.
Okay, and how do you deal this final blow to 𝗖𝗧?
I think with that thrust, it thrusts its claw forward and it just extends through 𝗖𝗧. And there's this almost withering, this extension of what it had made 𝗖𝗧 into that seeps into 𝗖𝗧 in the end. And 𝗖𝗧, looking into 𝗖𝗧's eyes, it doesn't feel vindicated. It just feels sad. And as it pulls its claw back and 𝗖𝗧 topples to the ground, so does 𝗖𝗧, conscious.
I'll add to that. So in that moment when you were looking at 𝗖𝗧's eyes, he looks back at yours, and as the lights behind them flicker, he says, "Such potential wasted by stubbornness and insolence," and the light behind his eyes just disappear.
And 𝗖𝗧 falls to its knees. I think the rest of its turn, the rest of its attack, its bonus action, it just spends slumped there. And I think it's looking down at its own claws, its own strange warped limbs of hands, and it doesn't recognize itself. He doesn't recognize itself. It's the end of 𝗖𝗧's turn.
All right. Next is the 𝗖𝗧, which floats to join everyone. Just floats around. See, it's unconscious. Loomis, as the final elements of 𝗖𝗧's spell, magic, curse, whatever it is, overtake him. He looks at all of you best he can in his state, but particularly at you, 𝗖𝗧. There is light in you. Follow the light, and it will lead you where you need to go. For he solidifies to a stone statue. And as we come out of initiative to wrap up, the red phoenix starts to take off as the platform, the asteroid, whatever it is that the citadel is sitting upon, as it orbits the moon. You all feel it begin to shudder and shake as if it is about to collapse from the inside.
Damn it, get out of here now. We have to go. We failed.
And you see Loren up floating in place. Loren, you are close enough to the citadel at this stage that you are able to breathe. But in this moment, you as a crew have had a Pyrrhic victory against 𝗖𝗧, against the Red Phoenix for now. It's not been without loss, but for now, it seems, has been slain. The tempest that he placed against you over, and while the Red Phoenix itself sails off into the distance of astral space, with only Loren at this stage knowing the true horrors of what is inside, and you all flee from the citadel as it slowly begins to behind you. And that's where we're going to leave it for this week.
Scream!
What the fuck?
Scream, yell, cry!
Thanks for joining us,
went
everyone.
poorly.
That went both very well and very poorly.
Thank you for
Some
joining us.
victories
Yes.
make you want to cry, and that's okay.
Thank you so
Have
much.
a great week, everyone.
Thank you so much for listening, folks. See you next time. Bye.
Have a wonderful week.
Bye.
See you next time. Bye.
Like and subscribe. Sorry for listening.
It occurred to me that for the past couple of sessions, set in the world of Fierlor is pretty loose.
Set in the general district.
Yeah.